My friend Lisa has not thought about money in 3 years. Not in the way most people think about money. She does not check the market every morning. She does not move things around when the news gets scary. She does not sit down at the end of every month and manually decide where her savings go. She set up a system once in a single afternoon, and then she walked away from it. Last month, I asked her how much her investment account had grown since she set it up. She pulled out her phone, checked the balance, and showed me a number that had grown by $64,000 while she was doing absolutely nothing. Lisa is not a finance person. She is a nurse. She works long shifts, and she does not have the time or the energy to manage money actively. What she has is a system that manages it for her, and the system does not care whether Lisa is paying attention or not. My name is Austin. This channel is about real personal finance, the kind that actually works for normal people instead of the kind that requires you to become a different person to execute it. Subscribe, because what I am about to show you is the exact system Lisa built in one afternoon that has been quietly building her wealth every single month without her touching it once. Let me start with the problem that automation solves, because most personal finance advice assumes you have something most people do not have. It assumes you have reliable willpower. Every piece of advice that starts with the words "just save more," or "just invest consistently," or "just stick to your budget" is built on the assumption that human willpower is a dependable resource. It is not. Willpower is the most unreliable financial tool in existence. It runs out. It gets overridden by a bad week at work. It disappears when the car needs repairs and the checking account looks thin. It collapses completely when you are tired and stressed, and the investment app requires 4 clicks and a decision. The reason most people do not invest consistently is not that they lack knowledge or motivation. It is that the system they are using requires them to make a conscious decision every single month to do the right thing. And conscious decisions are fragile. They compete with every other decision you make that day. And money decisions almost always lose to immediate needs and immediate feelings. Automation removes the decision entirely. When there is no decision to make, willpower has nothing to fail at. The money moves before your brain has a chance to redirect it. That is the entire mechanism. It is not complicated. It is not clever. It is just the removal of the step where most people fall off. Here is exactly what Lisa built and how she built it. She has 3 automatic transfers running. They were all set up on the same Sunday afternoon, and they have been running without interruption ever since. The first transfer happens on the 1st of every month, the day after her paycheck clears. A fixed amount moves from her checking account into her Roth IRA automatically, not when she remembers, not when she feels like it. On the 1st, every month, without her doing anything. The second transfer happens on the same day. A separate fixed amount moves into her brokerage account, where it is automatically invested into a total market index fund within 24 hours, because she has auto invest turned on. The money does not sit as cash. It does not wait for her to log in and click a button. It goes directly into the fund the same week it arrives. The third transfer is smaller. It moves into a high-yield savings account that she treats as her opportunity fund, not an emergency fund she never touches. An opportunity fund she uses for calculated decisions, like a home repair that would otherwise go on a credit card, or a car issue that would otherwise derail her investment contributions for 2 months. 3 transfers. All automatic, all running on the same day, all invisible to her daily life. From Lisa's perspective, the money is gone before she has a chance to spend it. Her checking account shows what is left, and that is her operating budget for the month. She does not budget in the traditional sense. The automation is the budget. Let me show you what this system has produced in real numbers, because the concept without the math is just a nice idea. Lisa started this system 4 years ago at age 31. Her combined automatic monthly investment was $600 split between her Roth IRA and her brokerage account. $400 into the Roth, $200 into the brokerage, $600 a month. At a 10% average annual return over 4 years, $600 a month becomes approximately $35,000. The total she contributed was $28,800. The market added approximately $6,200 on top. That is the 4-year number. Now extend it. $600 a month from age 31 to age 55 at 10% becomes approximately $740,000. She will have contributed $172,800 of her own money. The market adds $567,000 on top, $740,000 from $600 a month, from a system she set up once and never touched again. Lisa does not have a high income. She earns what a nurse with 8 years of experience earns in a mid-sized American city. The system works not because of what she earns, but because the money moves before she has a chance to do anything else with it. I want to walk through the exact setup process, because this is the part most financial content skips. Knowing that automation works is not the same as knowing how to build it. Step 1 is figuring out your investment floor. This is the minimum amount you can move automatically every month without your checking account running dry before the next paycheck. The way to find this number is simple. Look at your last 3 months of bank statements. Find the lowest checking account balance you hit in any of those months before your next paycheck arrived. That number is your floor. Any automatic investment amount that keeps you above that floor is safe to automate. If your floor is $200 and your checking account never drops below $400, before payday you have at least $200 available to automate. Start there. Not with the amount you think you should be investing, with the amount that will not break your checking account. You can always increase it later. You cannot undo a month where the automatic transfer caused an overdraft, because that overdraft becomes the reason you turn the whole system off. Step 2 is opening the right accounts in the right order. If your employer offers a 401k with a match, start there first. Capture the full match before you do anything else, because the match is a guaranteed 50 to 100% return that nothing else can beat. Once the match is captured, open a Roth IRA if you do not already have one. The Roth is the most valuable account in the system because growth inside it is completely tax-free. You put money in after tax. It grows for 30 years. You take it out at retirement and pay zero tax on any of it. The contribution limit for 2026 is $7,000 a year, which works out to $583 a month. If you can hit that limit inside the Roth, do it. If you cannot hit the full limit, start with whatever you can automate and increase it by $50 every 6 months until you get there. Step 3 is turning on automatic investment inside the account. This is the step most people miss. Opening the account and depositing money is not enough. You have to tell the account where the money goes when it arrives. Inside your Roth IRA, go to the investment settings and select a total market index fund or a target date fund matching your retirement year. Then turn on the automatic investment toggle so every deposit gets invested immediately without manual action. Do the same inside your brokerage account if you have one. The money should never sit as uninvested cash. Cash inside an investment account earns almost nothing. The whole point of the system is that money moves from your paycheck into the market as fast as possible with as few manual steps as possible. Step 4 is setting the transfer date strategically. Always set your automatic transfers for 1 to 2 days after your paycheck clears. Not on payday itself, because paycheck timing can shift by a day. 1 to 2 days after. This way the money is always there when the transfer fires, and you never get an overdraft from a transfer hitting before the paycheck landed. Lisa sets hers for the first of the month because her paycheck always clears by the 28th. She has never had a failed transfer in 4 years. Now I want to talk about the part of automation that makes people nervous. The feeling that they are not in control. That money is moving without their permission. I have heard this from almost everyone I have walked through this setup with. They feel like they should be watching, like they should be making active decisions. Like the hands-off approach is somehow lazy or irresponsible. I want to reframe this directly. The hands-off approach is not lazy. It is the approach that the data consistently shows outperforms active management for the overwhelming majority of individual investors. Vanguard has studied this for decades. Investors who trade frequently and make active allocation decisions consistently underperform investors who set a diversified allocation and do not touch it. The active investor feels in control. The passive investor feels hands-off. At retirement, the passive investor has more money almost every time. The feeling of control is not the same as actual control. Actual control in investing means setting up a system that removes your emotions from the equation and lets compounding do the work it was designed to do over decades. Lisa does not feel like she is missing out by not watching the market. She feels free. There is a real difference between those two things, and it took most of the people I know years to understand it. Here is the one adjustment the system requires over time, because I do not want to pretend it is completely zero maintenance. Once a year, Lisa does a single review. She looks at 3 things. 1, she checks that her automatic transfers are still moving the right amounts and that none of them have failed silently. 2, she increases each transfer by whatever percentage her income increased that year. If she got a 3% raise, she increases her investment transfers by 3%. This keeps her savings rate constant as her income grows and prevents lifestyle inflation from quietly absorbing every raise she ever gets. 3, she checks that her Roth IRA contribution is on track to hit the annual limit. If it is not, she adjusts the monthly transfer amount accordingly. That review takes her about 25 minutes once a year. 25 minutes. That is the total annual time investment required to run a system that builds hundreds of thousands of dollars over a career. The rest of the year, the system runs without her. It does not need her attention. It does not need her willpower. It does not need her to feel motivated or disciplined or financially focused. It just runs. 1. Automation works because it removes the decision. When there is no monthly choice to make, willpower cannot fail. 2. The system has 3 parts. Automatic transfer to retirement account. Automatic transfer to brokerage with auto invest turned on. Automatic transfer to opportunity fund. 3. Start with your investment floor, not your ideal amount. The amount that does not break your checking account is the right starting amount. 4. Capture your employer match first. Then fill your Roth IRA. Then your brokerage. The order matters. 5. Once a year review 3 things. Confirm transfers are running. Increase amounts by your income growth percentage. Confirm Roth contribution is on track. 25 minutes once a year. Everything else runs itself. Lisa checked her balance last month and showed me $64,000 that grew while she was working night shifts and not thinking about money at all. That is not luck. That is a system. The system is available to anyone. It does not require a high income. It does not require financial expertise. It does not require you to become someone who enjoys managing money. It requires one Sunday afternoon and the willingness to let the math work without your interference. Drop a comment telling me what your current automatic investment amount is, or if you are starting from zero, tell me what amount you're going to automate this week. I read every single one. And if you want to see exactly which index fund Lisa chose for her Roth IRA and why it beats almost every actively managed alternative, that video is right here. I will see you in the next one.